Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to go through a couple more examples from the homework in chapter 9.4. So the first problem, we have after 10 years, Mike's account earned $1,200 in interest. If the interest rate in decimal form is 0.03, how much did Mike initially invest? And so this is just one that I copied straight out of your homework. The first part in Hawks will say to choose the correct formula. So we're looking through that. You've got that formula sheet on the test. You've got it on the homework. We're looking through that list of formulas, and our clue is that this says stuff about $1,200 in interest. And so because of that, I'm going to pick the I equals PRT because that's the one that deals with interest. Also, this tells me that my unknown is P. I'm looking for the principal invested or the initial starting amount. So then I go to step 2. Step 2 now tells me that after 10 years, or same thing, but the question now says without substitution, solve the formula for the unknown variable in terms of the known variables. This is the part that a lot of students get tripped up on just because the wording is a little funny. Essentially what they say is we're going to take this formula that we just said was the correct one, and then we're going to solve for the unknown. And in this case, the unknown is going to be P. So what that question says is I want to solve that equation, I equals PRT, for P. And so on the right, I have P times R times T. And so to get rid of multiplication, I'm going to divide by RT, divide by RT. Those will cancel and leave me with P equals I over RT. That's what you would then type in the box. Don't worry about capitalization. I believe that when you type in the letters, it'll automatically capitalize or not capitalize depending on the formula. And then finally in step 3, it says the same problem, but now I've got solve the problem by substituting in the appropriate values, round your answer to 2 decimal places if necessary. And so what we've done is we are given all of these variables, I, R, and T. I is going to be 1,200. That was the interest he got. 0.03 is the rate. They've already converted that percent to a decimal, so I don't have to worry about that. And then the time is for 10 years. And so the first thing, I've got my formula. Well, I need to fill in that formula for the variables that I know. 1,200 equals P times 0.03 times 10 because those are the values that they gave me. And then from there, I'm going to multiply those two numbers, 0.03 times 10, which is going to give me 0.3. And now I need to divide 0.3 on both sides, and that is just trying to get P by itself. Once I do that, those will cancel and give me a final answer of $4,000. It said to round to the nearest 2 decimal places. However, I don't have to do that because there are no decimals. So 4,000 would be your final answer. All right, here's one along the similar lines. They give us a different formula, but then they also do a couple of different things. So I wanted to do this one as well. I went ahead and marked up the problem on the left just to save some time in the video. But the problem itself says the total amount of money in an account with P dollars invested, and it's given by the formula A equals P plus PRT, where R is the rate as a decimal and T is the time in years. Okay, so that's kind of the background information. Here is our actual problem. If $607 is invested at 21%, how much money will be in the account after 3 months? Round your answer to the nearest cent. Okay, that means just 2 decimals. And because this is money, most of these are going to be rounded 2 decimals anyway. Now we've got a couple of background information over here just because we've just got some things that are different in this problem. So the first thing that's different is this rate, 21%, is actually given in a percent. Well, before, our rate was already given in a decimal. So the first thing we need to do to get this problem ready is that we need to convert the percent to a decimal. So over here, when we're converting a percent to a decimal, you are going to use this little shortcut. I like to think of Dr. Pepper, DP. If you're going from percent to decimal, you're going to move to the left. If you're going from decimal to percent, you're going to move to the right. And so I'm going to move 2 places to the left. Well, if I don't see a decimal point, I just put it at the back, move it 2 places to the left, and then that's going to give me a decimal version of 0.21. I also have a problem here that said that time is given in years, and I have a time in 3 months. So I need to convert the 3 months to years in order to do this equation. So to convert the time from years to months, you're going to put the months, you're going to put the months over 12 since there's 12 months in a year. And so in my case, that's 3. Reduce that thing down to get 1/4. Now, my problem is ready to set up. And so now I've got that formula, A equals P plus PRT. And then I want to plug in all my known values. So I'm taking all that stuff I just found. 607 was given to me. And then the other two I found over here to the right to plug those in. All right, so now from here, I need to multiply all those numbers on the right. All those numbers on the right, and I get that 31.867. Don't round stuff yet. Don't round your answers until the very, very end. And then I've got a final answer of A equals $638.87 or $638.87 is my final answer there. These last 3 problems are solving literal equations. We did a couple of examples in the other video, or maybe we just did one, but just here's some more examples. So this first one says solve the formula P equals 2L plus 2W for W. And so the first thing I need to do is get rid of the stuff that is not immediately touching the variable. So since I'm solving for W, I need to move over the 2L to both sides. Those are going to cancel and leave me with P minus 2L equals 2W. Now I'm still trying to get W by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Those will cancel and give me a final answer of W equals P minus 2L all divided by 2. And so that's what I would type in. Divided by 2. That's what I would type in. Nothing cancels. I can't cancel out those 2's. I just leave it like that. Just a good tip, do your fraction button first and then type these things in. All right, the next one is similar. The only difference is I've got X's and Y's and 3's and 8's instead of 2L and W, but still doing a similar thing. So I've got negative 3x minus 8y equals 6, and the problem says solve for x. So I went ahead and highlighted that. So I need to get rid of not what is immediately touching x in terms of the 3. I need to get rid of the addition or subtraction. And so I'm going to add 8y to both sides. Add 8y. That's going to cancel. And then I've got negative 3x equals 6 plus 8y. Order doesn't particularly matter, so, just kind of give it your best. And then divide by negative 3. And then this is going to cancel. Now, this one has a little bit weird of a thing. If you write it like this, Hawks is going to say it's not simplified. They want you to take this negative sign and either write it out front or up top. And I believe if you try to write it out front, I can't remember if it'll let you write it out front. So you could write it like this on the test, or the homework, we could write it on top. If you're going to write it on top, though, we have to make sure we distribute it to everything. And so all I've done is just moved this negative sign around, but you do want to make both of these negative. And so you could write it like that in Hawks. And then the last one, solve for the formula for letter M. In this case, S equals N divided by M. So the first thing I need to do is, this one looks a little bit different than the others. I need to get M out of the fraction. So to undo divide by M, I'm going to multiply both sides by M. That's going to make those cancel. And now M is out the denominator. So now I've got MS equals N. My goal is still to get M by itself. And so to do that, I can divide both sides by S, which will make those S's cancel and leave me a final answer of M equals N over S, which is what I would type in there.